everybody, welcome back to my channel for another painting tutorial. If you're brand new and just stopping by for the first time, welcome. My name's Joni Young, and today I'm going to show you all step by step how to paint this acrylic painting. So stick around and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my merch shop on my storefront on my YouTube channel. I'm wearing one of the shirts from the shops that I designed, and I've got coffee mugs, pillowcases, towels, water bottles, backpacks, you name it. So many different styles and colors and fonts to choose from. So have fun shopping, and thanks in advance. I wanted to show you guys a couple of tutorials that are coming up that I've just been working on. So here's one coming up on my channel, a lighthouse seascape with bright pink flowers. I love that one. And also this one right here with a cozy little cottage and some flowers and steps. This one was really relaxing to paint. I'm so excited to show you guys all the new stuff I've been working on. So I don't want to give too much away, but there's lots of exciting content and videos coming up, all really informative and just really relaxing at the same time. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and jump into this painting and get started. Okay everyone, so let's go over the supplies that I'm using today for this painting tutorial. I have an 11 by 14 stretched and primed canvas. The following colors here: light blue violet, phthalo blue, sap green, bright aqua green, titanium white, lemon yellow, neon orange, neon rose, dioxazine purple, and burnt sienna. I'll be using my 5-piece set of brushes today: 20 flat, 2 rigger, 3 round, 14 filbert, and a 1-inch mop. So let's go ahead with the very first step. The first brush I'm going to use is my flat brush. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it, and I'm going to take some white, some yellow, and some orange, and I'm going to create a warm sunset back here. Add a little bit more of the orange and white. With a clean brush, I'm going to take some light blue violet, a little bit of phthalo, and some white. Phthalo blue, light blue violet, and white. I'm going to start on the top here and softly blend it down and around into part of that peach. And now you can do this to wet paint or dry paint. So my sunset colors are a little bit wet still, having just applied them, and I kind of like pulling in and mixing up a little bit of those colors. So then I get a little hint of green in there, which is kind of pretty. I'll just work out the rest with a little bit of white. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush out. Okay, for the next brush and next step, we're going to start to apply the trees that are behind the church. And I'm going to take my mop brush, no water, just paint, phthalo blue, and sap green. A little tap. And I'm going to start on the left side. Pretty solid on the edge here, and then I'll be adding a few little spaces and little branches that show the sky through. Okay, I'm going to take some more and just going to continue. Now we're going to cover up part of these trees with our church, of course, but we just want to get this back here. And build our painting up background to foreground. I'm going to add a little bit of purple. It's going to make it quite a bit darker. And I'm going to start going over top and layering. This is going to give us some layers of bushes, shadows. And over here, we're going to have a really big tree, wide tree trunk, big tree that's been around for maybe hundreds and hundreds of years. Okay, then I'm going to take the rest of the paint and I'm just going to blend it out so we have a nice dark base here as well. I've got a lot of paint in there and I just need a little bit of water to help release it. I'm going to bring in some sap green and a little bit of blue and my turquoise or bright aqua green and start layering in here with some of these colors, our cool tones, our cool shadows. I want to have a turquoisey green and like green turquoise and blue turquoise backdrop here on the grass, and then come in with our leaves and our wildflowers, kind of just creating a little bit of a frame, and then we see this little church in the distance and then have a nice big tree right here. So what we'll do is we'll paint the tree first and then the flowers will be the last thing. I'm going to rinse this brush out now. I like to remind you guys to wash your brushes out. Whenever I'm washing mine out, I try to let you guys know because it's so easy to forget. And before you know it, the paint is dried in your brush and they're ruined. Now I want to add a few branches. So I'm going to take the long number 2 rigger brush. These brushes are still available. I designed them and Craftimo produced them and they ship them worldwide. They're wonderful brushes, my set of 5. So this is the very last chance you'll be able to get them. As of this morning when I checked, it said that there were 97 left. So 97 sets left. So get yours now before they're gone. You'll never get another chance to get these brushes. So with some water on my long liner here, I'm going to take some burnt sienna and some purple, and we're just going to come in and start adding some branches back here. Now we need a little bit more water. I have tutorials showing you how to use each one of these brushes as well, all the uses for them, how to load them properly, how to clean them, all the things you can do with them. Got a few drips down here, but that's okay. We're going to be covering that up anyways, so I'm just going to use that little bit of water to help guide all this paint out so I can get these little delicate branches. One of my favorite color combinations is the burnt sienna, a little bit of purple against the bluey green. It's just so nice together. And just add a few little branches there. I'm going to take a little bit of water off there and use it. So for really delicate branches, a little bit extra water. Hold your fingers, hold the brush like closer to the end of it, and you'll have a little bit more control. Reloading my brush, and I'm going to just create some sweepy ones here. Ones that kind of go a little bit more up and down, a little straighter. We've got these ones that are really wiggly. But the key is to have some water in your brush and just create little gentle flicks. Okay, I'm going to wash the brush out. I'm going to come in with my big tree here with a 14 filbert brush. I'm going to start with some purple, straight purple, no water. And this tree is going to come right down here. It's going to be covered, the base here, with flowers. And we're going to go right to the far, right to the right, all the hell, all the way over. Paint that in. Ooh, I love that purple with a turquoise. Colors make me so happy. I've got a tutorial and a video in the works. Well, it's a tutorial and it's also the beginning of it. The first half is going to be me kind of going over how to be happier, healthier as an artist, and what keeps me motivated. I want to share my tips and tricks with you guys, things that help my mental health and that can really benefit you as well. There's lots to learn, things that I've learned over the years, and I want to spread that. I want to help other people out there that might need it. So, okay, I'm going to rinse this brush out. I'm going to get all that purple out. The next brush, our flat brush, paint only, just some beautiful burnt sienna, and we're just going to graze over the tree trunk, and I mean, we're just barely touching, and by doing this, we're creating a little bit of a texture and making these parts stick out. Now I'm holding my brush kind of flat, almost all the way flat, and just slightly on an angle. Gentle little scrape. You can do this with a palette knife as well. However, sometimes the bristles in the brush will kind of split apart, and that'll give me multiple lines and wiggles and create more of a natural bark pattern, and I really like to do that. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more now, and I'm going to come scoop down from here and catch this big branch and then this edge. Now, this is going to dry darker if I leave it like this, because this purple, dark purple base is dominant. So it's going to dry darker than this, and I really want to keep this bright, warm, burnt sienna. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of white, the neon orange, and more of the burnt sienna. And I just want to make sure I have the right amount on here, and I kind of mix it up, sort of. And then really lightly just skim over it again. This reminds me of another, without giving too much away, another video tutorial coming up called Lantern in the Forest, where I've got like a really big tree like this. Anyways, you guys, I'm like, real honestly, I'm so excited to show you everything I've been working on and creating in my little studio here. Okay, I'm really liking that. I think that it's time to come in and start working on our church. I'm going to show you guys the easiest way to paint buildings, and it's by breaking everything down into simple basic shapes: triangles, squares, rectangles, okay, or circles. So what I'm going to do is use my round brush, because if the flat brush would be fine if I was painting a bigger church. However, I don't want to end up painting it too big, so I'm going to be careful about the size I make it, and so I'm going to use this little round brush. If you have a smaller flat brush, mine's a 1 inch. If you have like a 1/2 inch or even a 1/4 inch, that would work really well. But you can do it just with a little round brush. So I'm going to draw this out, and then we're going to paint it in. And I'm going to be using some purple and some light blue violet to start. Then we're going to come in and add the white. Okay, so I do need to have a little bit of water on my brush here, not a lot, just a little bit. And I'm going to take some white, or sorry, some light blue violet with the purple. The reason why I'm doing it this color first is just so we already have like some cool, pretty shadows that are complementary with peach. So purple and peach go really nice together. The very first thing we're going to do is paint a rectangle, a skinny rectangle, and we're going to add it right here. So we're going to start right here. I'd say 2 inches down from the top of the canvas. A little higher than that, or even a little lower is fine. And we're going to make it about 1 inch wide. Okay, let's go ahead and just paint that in. Cut across, join those lines. Okay, the next step, I'm going to take a little bit more of my purple. And I'm going to add a triangle on the top. Okay, so we've got, it almost looks like we're starting to paint a castle, doesn't it? That would be the same way. The next thing I'm going to do is add a peak. So we're starting another triangle, and we're going to go down, let's say about 2 inches, or one or 2 inches. I'm going to do 1 inch, and I'm going to go from here to here. We're going to draw in the other one. Okay, and then make that a little bit longer. And then we're going to cut in, leaving the line overhang of the roof, right? So you're not going to start the line right from that corner. You're going to come in a little bit. And we're going to paint this in now. I'm telling you guys, this is really, if you struggle with buildings, this is the easiest way to approach it. And I always teach this way and people get it. It's just so much easier to grasp it this way. Now we're going to go over that rectangle. And this is in front now. And that's how you build up from it. Now I have videos using the same method of shapes, how to paint, using it for painting portraits, figures, silhouettes, male, female, kids. I have a whole playlist. Okay, so there we go. For the next step, I'm going to completely dry this off, and then we're going to come in with our white, and then we're going to cut in our windows and our door. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to my round brush. This is dry now. I'm going to take some white and a little bit of blue violet. I'll just mix them up over here. The reason why I want to tint my white with the blue violet is so that we have a cool shade of white, because the sun is setting back here. Okay, so I'm going to add a little line that separates this triangle from this rectangle. Then we're going to come inside and just paint it in. Okay, then the next step, I place my pinky here just to help steady my hand. I'm going to add a little line down from the peak. I'm going to add a line across. I'm going to add another one here. And another one right here. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, and then we're gonna add a line here and follow this one down here. Okay, and then the next thing we're gonna do is just paint this all in. With that light blue violet. I'm going to rinse the excess out of my brush, and I'm going to make it a little bit thinner, thin the paint out a little bit here, and ease off so that we're left with a little shadow under the roof line. Okay, now I'm going to take some more white and I'm going to go over to make it a little brighter now. It doesn't have to be solid everywhere. A line across and a line down here. Okay, now I'll take some more white and I'm going to come along the side. Add a little bit brighter white, a few little lines like this. Then take a little bit of white and just go over the inside just to brighten it up a little bit. That purple, first purple base and a little bit of the blue violet will always show through, so it'll still look like a cool shade of white. And titanium white, which I'm using, is a cool white anyways. I'm just gonna add a little bit of extra white right there. Okay, I'm gonna rinse this brush out now. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the windows here, narrow arch ones. I'm gonna take some purple, some blue violet, and right here and right here. Okay, so we're just going to have a little arch and then come down. Okay, then we'll add the other one. Take a little bit more blue violet, mix it up, and I'm going to come right under this, making a little bit more of a shadow. And shadow under our roof lines. Could add a little bit inside this triangle here. Take another little dab of my blue violet. Gentle pushes and taps just inside. We want to keep it outlined dark. And we'll take a little bit of blue violet again, and we're just going to add a little swish of that inside the windows. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take some purple, and we're going to add a peak. So just eyeball it the peak is going to start a little higher than those arched windows. We're going to bring it down here, and we're going to bring it down to here. Pull in, and then go down. Pull in, and then go down. I make this side just a little thicker because we're going to add some white trim inside. I'm going to outline that side just a little bit. And same with our rectangle that we started off with. Okay, now this part that's the entrance with the door and the stairs leading up is in front. It's popping out from this, so I want this to be the brightest, so I'm going to take more white and I'm going to paint inside this. We'll dry it off and then we'll come in with the big window and door. Now you could add a few lines, faint lines like this, if you want it to look like wooden planks or siding or something. And then I'm going to add a little shadow in here, so I'll take my little bit of blue, violet, and purple. I don't want to have too much paint on my brush, so I'm going to add a little faint line like this, and then just create a little shadow like that. Just gonna try to even that out a little bit more. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna take white and we're gonna add white inside of this purple roof line. So it should be outlined in purple. Okay, I'm going to use my long liner brush, and I'm going to take some white, and we're going to add a line down the middle of each arched window. And then we're going to just go across with some more lines. Okay, so I've dried this off now. I'm going to use my round brush again and take some blue, violet, and a little bit of purple. And we're going to add half a circle or a little arch like that. Okay, and then just paint it in. Be nice. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit higher. Okay, then we're going to leave a little space, a little line, a little white line like that. And then we're going to come down. I'm going to take a little bit of white and blue violet mixture and just pull that in there, and then dab a little bit inside that window. Now with my light purple, I'm just going to come up in this peak and pull down like that. I'm going to take a little bit of white and I'm going to add a little loop and then come down. A little loop and then come down. Take my purple, go just underneath that. Add a little bit more of a shadow right here under the peaked roof line. And take a little bit more white and just graze over that again. And then I come down the center, and these will be the doors. We can also add a faint outline of a door frame if you want. Okay, now I'm going to add some stairs, and I'm going to add, let's take a little bit of burnt sienna with our purple. Cut across. I'm just going to do a little swish back and forth like this. Bring those stairs out slightly on an angle. And then I'll take some white. I'll pull across, leave a space, pull across, leave a space, pull across. And go underneath these windows. Okay, I'm going to take my filbert brush now, add a little bit of purple and a little bit of green, no water, and I'm just going to gently push and tap some little bushes here off the corner, and then a little bit around all the edges and the stairs. Pull and sweep out a little bit. And just blend out the rest. Okay, Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of sap green, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white. I don't want it to be too bright here, so I'm gonna add like more of a subdued highlight on the little bushes and plants around. Okay, just rinsing my brush out. I want this to look more hazy like back here. And then, so I'm just going to show you how we can add a little dry brush of a little bit of turquoise, a little bit of white with a turquoise. Just going to dry brush. It looks softer. See the difference from this side to this side? Let's try adding a little bit of light blue violet and even a little bit of this rose. Okay, then I'm going to come in with some blue violet and some phthalo blue. I'm going to start just swishing this around. A little bit of my bright green, bright aqua green. And I just think this is kind of dreamy and misty. Take a little bit of yellow as well. Mix that in with those greens. Add a little bit there, maybe a little bit more of that lemon yellow. Just a little hint. We're going to start building up our flowers now in the foreground. First I want to have a little bit of a darker base. Sap green, phthalo blue, dioxazine purple. Push, let off. Just some leaves. I've even got a hint of all those other colors, the other colors that we've been using for a misty, foggy background. Yeah, and so we're just going to come in here and build up some flowers and leaves going up the side of the tree. Take a little bit of turquoise with my blue. Got little hints in there. A little bit of extra turquoise. And how about some of this gorgeous rose? A little bit of white. I'll have a few little flowers. Just little dabs. I'm going over wet paint with this rose. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to take a little bit of the neon orange as well. Mix that up. It's kind of a pretty color, isn't it? So again, that was neon orange, rose, and a bit of white. A little bit of yellow in there as well. Rose, yellow, orange, and white. I'm going to go over to my round brush now and add a little bit of white. Push and pull in like this. So we'll use a little point on the end and then round, push, and then let off. Leave a space, come around, and let off. And then maybe we'll add more of a rose, something that has a lot more petals down here. A little bit of extra white, and then some thinner lines for petals. Then I like to make the outer petals a little bit thicker. Okay, so I'm going to start another one here. We'll just start with sort of a dark circle. Okay, so I just dried this off a little bit so that I could get a fresh layer of this pink on, or this rose, without picking up the blue and the green and all those other colors. So I'm just going to add a little bit more color inside of these petals now, and then we're going to start on that one. Okay, so let's add our pink again, and then I'm going to take a little bit of water. I'm calling it pink, but it's actually luminous rose. Let me know if you guys want to know more about the brands of paint that I use. And I'm gonna come in here and start adding little half circles, and then they're gonna come around and start to get a little thicker. I'm gonna come in with this one again. Okay, I'm going to make a few more. Add some over here. Look at both colors are coming out, the white and the rose. Add a little bit of a darker center to some of these, and we'll see what happens. Okay, we can have some purplish roses. And then let's take some white and we'll start adding our little lines. You really want to have that paint on the end of your brush so you can control the size of the thin lines that you want to make for your little petals. I'm just taking a little bit of water, got my little cup of water here. This will help me thin my paint out a little bit. I got a few that are a little bit thicker. It's nice to change it up. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of white with my purple. I'm going to add an iris flower here. Take a little bit of blue, violet, and purple. I'd like to go back after and take a little bit of a lighter color, a little bit of white in this case, and just create some ruffles. You know that the big beautiful irises have. They look ruffly, frilly like. Okay, and then maybe I'll have another iris right here. Add a little bit more purple inside. And then a little teeny hint of some orange and yellow. I'm gonna go over to my liner bigger brush, get some water on it, some green, both my greens and yellow, and add some pretty stems. Then I'll go into my deep green. And add a shadow. Let's take some blue. Phthalo, blue violet. I'm going to switch brushes. Round brush again. Blue violet and phthalo blue. And we'll add some little pale blue flowers. Simple push, let off, and move on. Don't be afraid to overlap over your other flowers. Add a little bit of yellowy green center. And we'll add a few more little flowers here. Some taller stalk-like flowers. And then start to add a little bit more of the blue in there. This is such a fun painting. I hope you guys are enjoying this one. I'm going to come over on this side now. And then start to add some of that lighter color as they get closer up to the top. Make them a little lighter. Okay, clean brush, a little bit of blue, white. I'm going to bring a little bit of these out a bit more. just by adding a little bit more white. And just going and going and going. Little petals, little dabs here. Use the shape of the brush to create your petal. Don't try too hard to paint a petal. Just push and dab, push and dab. You don't need to have the entire flower visible, but down here I'm going to add one that's a little bit bigger. Because we have all these small ones. I'm going to take a little bit of my light colors for the centers. And just adding some more little stock flowers here. So much fun. See how they get a little bigger as they go down, and then a little lighter at the top. Take a little bit more green. A little bit of blue, a little bit of turquoise. And I'm going to take this pretty rose color here. Add a few more bright pink areas, and then this painting I think will be done. Mixing up a little bit of white. And I'm just dabbing multiple sections of petals. A bunch of little flowers. Let's put a little bit more white in. And choose a few of these just to soften up a little bit. And same on this side. Now I'm going to add a little bit of this neon orange with white. And add a couple more on this side. This looks like some little sparkles. I'm going to create a little bit like this. And then I think I'm going to come in with my toothbrush, haven't done that in a while, and create just a very fine little spray. Okay, so with a little toothbrush, some water, a little bit of white paint. Can be tinted. Mine's tinted with a little bit of that purple. Okay, then you just want to lightly pull back and spray a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit more on here, maybe a little bit of the orange. There, that's pretty. These could just be like little tiny flowers. To sign my painting, I'm going to use one of my smallest, shortest liner brushes, and I'm going to take some white with some turquoise. And I'll just sign it down here. One very last thing, even though I just signed it, and usually I sign it once the painting's all done, I want to add a little railing and I forgot about it, so I'm going to come in here and add a few little lines that come down on either side. And you'll just get the top a little heavier. Okay, this painting's all done. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more. I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye!